Hello, hello. All right, guys, we are going to do a new variation of protein balls today. I'm simultaneously on Zoom and IGTV. So if I'm looking around, hey, how are you? Shout out from Canada. If I am looking in two different cameras, that's why. But hi, I wanted to show you guys, so you all are really into the chocolate dip protein balls I made the other day that were kind of like celebration balls. I am going to share that recipe for people in the blood sugar balancing workshop. I'm going to give everybody a free little recipe book with that. But today I have an idea. I've never done this before, but I want to do chocolate peanut butter protein balls, and we're going to dip those in chocolate as well. I want to do white chocolate peanut butter balls dipped in white chocolate, and dark chocolate or milk chocolate peanut butter balls dipped in milk chocolate as well. That like dipped in chocolate thing, obviously we're adding more sugar, but it makes it such a special treat. We went through those last ones 10 times faster than we do the regular protein balls. So I'm a big fan, right? They're so darn good. So we're gonna get started. As always, I use the naked pea protein. You can use any protein you like, but just remember that all protein powder has a very different texture. So this one I find bakes really well. It works really well in the balls. The ingredients are awesome, and it's also really good bang for your buck. This giant tub is maybe $40, but you get so much for that. And because I'm always using it for making protein balls, it's super handy. So we're gonna use this guy. Peanut butter. I get the Costco organic. Again, we go through peanut butter like crazy in this house. Maple syrup, again, Kirkland, Holler. Yes, I'm Canadian. Maple syrup goes in everything. And then for the shells, we're going to use just a little bit of coconut oil and then our chocolate chips. So I have mini chocolate chips we're going to use inside the milk chocolate ones and outside, and then white chocolate for the white chocolate. So I'm going to do the same base batter for all the balls, and then we'll do a separate white and dark chocolate. I'm just saying I might have someone coming to the Zoom here. Okay, we're good. All right, guys, so we are going to start with our base, and that is going to be 1 cup of the pea protein. All right, so I'm gonna get my thing. And again, yeah, you can use other protein powders, but keep in mind the textures can be different. Some are much sweeter. I find whey protein is a really different texture. So this is my go-to, but find what works for you or what you got in the cupboard. If you're like me, you hate wasting. So we're gonna do 1 cup of protein powder. I'll write this recipe down later for y'all too. And then, so there's 2 choices here because we're doing peanut butter balls. I'm actually gonna use peanut flour. This I get on Amazon. It's called Protein Plus. I like it because it's super high protein. My goal right now is to build and maintain muscle mass. So I'm going to use this. That being said, a lot of people do like to use the almond flour. This gives a little bit more of a like soft cookie dough like texture. So for the average Joe, you might like this better. I don't mind if it's like a little more on the drier side because I'm getting that extra protein. But then again, choose what works best for you. So we're going to go to our either flour, your peanut flour or your almond flour. And we're going to do 1/2 cup of that. So we have 1 cup of the protein, 1/2 cup of peanut or almond flour. Get that scoop there, 1/2 cup, throw it in. So that's just going to make these super high protein, which I'm a big fan of. We lift weights in this house, so we're always trying to sneak in protein where we can. And again, it's such a good tool for balancing your blood sugar, which is key for night eating syndrome, but also hormonally and just feeling your best. So we got our cup of protein, 1/2 cup of peanut flour. We're going to do 1 full cup of peanut butter. My favorite thing ever. If you follow me, you know this. And again, I get this one at Costco. I like it because it's organic and it's a good flavor and texture. The only problem is at the bottom of the jar, it gets kind of drier, which might make it hard to mix. So I have another jar of peanut butter handy just in case. If you guys have any questions as we go, let me know. shoot, you know, and this happens and it's like so dry at the bottom of the jar. Oh, it's gonna make it so annoying to mix. Okay, let's see what we can do. And then I have a backup jar of Justin's peanut butter. We can dig it into if we have to. But let's try not to waste. Let's just dig in here. So if you're joining now, we are making white and milk chocolate dipped protein bars. So far, we got some pea protein in there. We got, yes, I'm sharing that out. We got pea protein in there. I got peanut flour to make our white and milk chocolate dipped protein balls with chocolate chips inside, because, you know, you can never have too much chocolate, and we're balancing it with delicious healthy fats and protein. And so this peanut butter doesn't have any added sugar. Our big sugar we're gonna be getting in this recipe is gonna be our maple syrup, which actually is a lower glycemic sugar than some. And that is gonna be key again in balancing blood sugar, is always trying to go slightly lower glycemic and then balancing it out with fat, fiber, and protein. Another reason I love the pea protein is you're getting all that fiber as well. Bought maple syrup last week. Yay! Oh my God, I just blew some protein powder. That's awesome. Oh, you found some in Romania too. Good for you. Yeah, and you can always use honey, you know, or any other liquid sweetener. I just love maple syrup. Again, I'm Canadian. It mixes so well in these recipes. It's delicious. And what else has all these really good antioxidants and health benefits? Hey, Tiffany. Oh God, all my people in here. So nice to see you. Sorry if any of you guys have tried to join the Zoom. I'm trying to keep my eye on both and I'm having issues. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining. So we have 1 cup pea protein, 1 cup peanut butter, half a cup of peanut butter protein plus powder, which you could also use almond flour. Next up, we're going to do our sweetener. So we have our maple syrup. Yes, the best. And so I'm going to put a whole cup in here. That can seem like a lot, but this is going to make a lot of balls. I used to do it with less, you guys. I used to use stevia, but honestly, I found they weren't as good. When I tried to give them to other people, they were like, they have that like bitter stevia taste and the texture wasn't as good. This helps work as a binder. So, you know, we do a little less now and we balance it out because life is all about balance. And when it comes to blood sugar, again, we have our key components here. We have fiber, we have protein, and we have fat. So I find when I eat these, you know, I can really tell after I eat something if it's spiking my blood sugar or not. When I eat these, I feel stable. I can have like 3 for breakfast, have a great workout, not get hungry for a couple of hours. So it's perfect. I should probably use a spatula. So we're mixing all this stuff up. Oh, I used my spatula early. 1 second, we're gonna get a spatula. I used earlier for cooking. So I'm gonna do 1 batter and then we're gonna split it into 2 because I wanna do a milk chocolate and a white chocolate. So as you saw, that peanut butter was kind of tough. So we're gonna have to do some serious mixing here. If you guys have any questions, shoot them in there because I might be mixing for a while. The protein flour, the peanut protein flour, it's a little on the drier side. So I might have to add more liquid, but let's see how it goes. Again, I like it because it's so high protein. When I was bodybuilding and doing competitions, I would have a protein pudding using the peanut flour every night because I could easily in like a little bowl get 60 to 80 grams of protein. And if you know, with building muscle, if you're going for that lean bodybuilding physique, building muscle mass is your key friend in that. Okay, so we're getting some mix in here. So this with the pea protein and the peanut flour, we're gonna get a super high protein ball. And then we're gonna make it super delicious by adding the chocolate chips and then dipping it in them as well. So I'm still mixing this up. Everybody who's watching, say in the comments where you are watching from. What country, city, where are you? I think it's so cool because every time I do these, there's like people from all over the world. I am currently in Carmel, California, but I hail from Vancouver, Canada. / grew up all over Europe, mostly in France. Getting there, you can see the texture in the peanut flour is like a little bit of work to mix, but then again, I'm working those muscles that the protein can go right to. So you try to get as good of a mix as we can on there. It's starting to come together. So you always want to make sure you're getting the kind of consistency that you can roll into a nice ball. So we don't want it too wet or too dry. Montreal, sitting in my living room. Yay. This is the best part about working from home. Multitasking is totally possible. And maybe you can make these afterwards or on your break. I love working from home. I think many people have realized this past year or two. What if you put in a food processor? That would probably be really smart, or one of those KitchenAid things. I don't have either. I just have a blender, which wouldn't really work. But come on, Tiffany, we're trying to build that muscle. Just put your muscle in it. But yeah, you probably totally could put it in a food processor to be a lot smarter. But I don't like kitchen appliances because I find they just take up so much stinking room, and then you use them so rarely. And then I feel bad. Right? This is like forearm, biceps, back. I can even squeeze my glutes while I do it or go into a squat. This is how we sneak in. Here, guys, we're almost getting there. You can see it's actually turning to like a really perfect dough though. And once it's all mixed, we're going to split it into two. Yes, manual food. I am the food processor. Oh man, I find myself so funny. So I still see a little bit of powder in there. So I just want to make it so you don't see any of that, but it's starting to look like a dough. Yeah, see, this peanut flour is a little on the dry side. I'm wondering if I should add more maple syrup. Again, almond flour is going to make a doughier ball, and it's a bit easier to find. Make me have nut butters, make prep. What? That's so smart. I was wondering if you could, because I've tried to do it in the blender, and it was really hard. I had to keep blending, stop, blend, stop, blend, stop, and then there were still chunks. So I probably should get a food processor because I also like making hummus, and that seems like the ideal tool for making hummus. All right, I'm gonna get in with my hands. They're clean. Let's see if we can get a little more action in here. Again, I've done the same recipe, but using almond flour, and it mixes much easier. But we're going super protein, super peanut butter today. We're getting this delicious dough. So you can just knead it out. And then we're gonna get ready to split it into two. Tiffany, what kind of nut butters do you make? I have a recipe for what I call babe butter, which is like all the hormonal seeds they recommend you have to balance your hormones. It's pretty darn good. I would personally love to make a maple almond butter, the Justin's maple almond butter. So good. Although a fun story, once with my Vitamix, I tried to make a maple almond butter and I couldn't get it to blend properly. So I took off the lid and I used that like little thing to go in. And then I blended the plastic stick and it got all up in the nut butter. And I had to throw away this really expensive nut butter because it's full of plastic shreds. You make them all cashew, peanut, almond. Oh my God, that's so smart. Is it more expensive, do you think, to make it your own or buy it? Because I feel like you still have to buy all the nuts and they're not cheap. I'm going to test this dough to make sure it's okay. It actually tastes almost exactly like peanut butter cookie dough. You've done that too? I'm so happy I'm not alone. I had to order a new thing, but it was like the most depressing thing because almonds aren't cheap, especially in Canada. I feel like they're more expensive. All right, so our dough's looking perfect. More expensive to buy. Oh, to buy the jars. You get the nuts at Costco so cheap. That's true. If you buy nuts at Costco, I mean, I'm such a fan. It makes everything more doable. So we're gonna split our dough into two because I want to do a white chocolate and milk chocolate. So let's go like so. I have a bunch kind of stuck in the bowl here. Scrape that up. I'm getting out of breath. This is a workout. Peanut flour has more protein than almond. Both, yeah, so texture is different. It's a little drier, it has a lot more protein. The one I get on Amazon, I'm gonna wash my hands. It's super high protein. It's like similar to a protein powder because they take the fat out, which again was why it's so dry. So you just get like all the protein from the peanuts. It's called Protein Plus Peanut Flour. So again, it's a little dry, but this is actually, having tasted it, it's really good. And then again, these are going to be flippin' high protein balls, which makes it okay to eat a ton of chocolate at the same time. Okay, so we have our dough in 2, and then we're going to do some white chocolate in 1. So I hate putting measurements for chocolate chips because really it's like, how many do you want? Do you like a little bit? Do you like a lot? These are a little bigger. I could cut them, but I don't want to. So we're gonna just put these in, mix those in. These are smarter. I got the mini chocolate chips. Be much better for the balls. So we're gonna, again, add as many as you like. I'd say about, I probably put about 1/4 to 1/2 cup. And put a little more of these mini ones. So we have our 2 same doughs now with white chips. We're gonna get it all mixed up. If you guys have any questions about blood sugar or the recipe, let me know. The white chocolate chips are the, what are they called? What's that brand? Girardelli. I always say that wrong. Girardelli is the California brand. Girardelli. They're those. And so they have, you know, sugar, they have a little bit of dairy. And then the mini chocolate chips are the Enjoy Life brand. These are dairy free, allergen free. If you have anybody, like I have friends who have kids with nut allergies. So if I'm making something with sunflower butter, no nuts, I will use those, but I just got them because they were so cute. They're the perfect little size for the balls. Yeah, so these chocolate chips do. I have often used unsweetened chocolate chips. I get a bulk bag from a company locally, which is pretty good, but these have sugar. Again, I'm not putting a ton in them. And as you saw, the only other added sugar is the maple syrup. So yeah, again, you know, they have the Lily's brand of naturally sweetened with stevia chocolate chips, but I don't buy those because they have erythritol. And if you're like me, many people don't realize this, and they're in so many like health products, is erythritol can be so hard on your gut. For me personally, it leads me to hold a bunch of water weight. So when I was competing and I had to religiously weigh myself and do physique checks, if I had erythritol the night before, and like I drink this hot chocolate that had it, I would literally wake up 5 pounds heavier and holding a ton of water. Stevia is terrible. Yeah, so I find some stevia. So what I look for, the one stevia I will use now, just like in my coffee, I like to blend it in with my oat milk, is the sweet leaf drops, because there's no added stuff in it. It's just stevia leaf extract, organic water, and natural flavors, but a bunch of them have erythritol and other stuff added. So I feel like that's what you really want to look for, is all the added stuff. But if it's just stevia, because stevia is just a plant, right? It generally shouldn't upset you, but to make it more palatable and a certain texture, they always add all this stuff, and it's so annoying. So that one, the Sweet Drops by Sweet Leaf, and the Trader Joe's one, which I'm pretty sure is the exact same thing for half the price, is also really good. So I'm just mixing in the one with the little chocolate chips. I think I put too many, but we're gonna mix it in. It'll be great. It'll be great. You know, like grandmas, they just use their hands for measuring. I feel like I'm like that. I should probably measure things, but I prefer to go by instinct. And this is gonna be delicious. So we're gonna mix that in a little more. And yeah, you could do these with honey, check that out here too. Yeah, let me know. I wonder if date syrup might work, but I think it's a little thick as your sweetener to bind the balls with. Someone was telling me, what did they use? Oh, someone blended in actual medjool dates for the tahini balls I made, and they said they were really good. Medjool dates I love, but again, they're really high glycemic. So just, you got to make sure you're having a lot of fat with them and just try not to overdo it. I used to like live off of dates. When I look back, I'm like, no wonder I had blood sugar issues. I had all these artificial sweeteners. I would eat just like straight sugar, straight fruit back in like the raw vegan trend days. All right. I'd say this dough is pretty good. So I'm going to do now is we're going to roll them into balls, and then we're going to get ready to dip them in chocolate. I'm just going to wash my hands. All right, we're going to get 2 plates ready because we're going to do the white chocolate and the dark chocolate. And then it's going to be super simple. Once these are rolled, all we're going to do is dip them in a really simple chocolate mixture. And then we're going to do the white and the dark chocolate, and then put them in the fridge or freezer, and they'll be good to go. I find that this, using the chocolate chips with just a little bit of coconut oil, it solidifies really fast. You guys saw I did the celebration balls with the sprinkles. I had to like hurry and put the sprinkles on because it solidified really fast, but I still put it in the freezer just to be safe and make sure it really solidifies before I put it in the fridge or eat it. So we're just gonna roll into balls. I like to do about like a golf ball size. Sometimes for fun, I'll do different sizes. Again, this peanut flour, it's not my favorite thing to, it's getting like the cracks and stuff. It's not as moist. I could have added more maple syrup, but oh well. I would probably recommend almond flour unless you're like me and you're like determined to get as much protein as possible. All right, so we have 1 ball. I'm gonna keep mixing these. Yeah, it's a little dry. I wonder if I should add maple syrup. Let's roll with it and see. And I would say probably get mini chocolate chips if you can. These white chocolate chips are a little pushing it. Let's get that in a nice little ball. Let me know if you guys have any questions. So we got Tiffany from Montreal. Where else is everybody from? Give me a holler. Yeah, and if you're doing the blood sugar workshop coming up, you're going to get a bunch of blood sugar balancing recipes, including those celebration balls, and then easy meal ideas. And we're going to go over how to create like basic meal ideas, recipes, meal plans, all of that fun stuff. It's going to be a really fun interactive workshop. I've realized that I need to stay true to myself and make things fun and interactive, because that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy doing and watching. You know, rather than just, oops. All right, I'm back. Sorry, had a little pause there. Other than just like talking with a PowerPoint presentation. So we're gonna have fun with that, and you guys are gonna get a free mini recipe book. So you're gonna get your bang for your buck, and it's before February 1st. It's $25, and then it's going up to $35. So sign up soon if you can. So you guys are jumping in now. I'm making the white chocolate balls. I have dark chocolate balls. I'm going to share the recipe after. And once these are all rolled up, we're going to dip them in chocolate. I'm wondering, I actually think what I'll do to keep you guys interested here is I'll just do 5 of the white chocolate and 5 of the dark chocolate, and then finish it off screen. Otherwise, I'm going to be like sitting here and rolling forever. I appreciate your patience and hanging out with me. Hope you guys have like a cup of coffee or tea, snack nearby. What is everyone up to today? Shout out in the comments. We're going to roll our little dark chocolate. These are rolling better because of the mini chocolate chips. 10 out of 10 recommend. I'm going to roll these bad boys. Into golf ball sized balls. I'm sure we have people from all over the world in here right now. Pack them in. I just went to get a protein ball as a snack. Yes. I always do it. Does anyone here watch Great British Bake Off? I always have to bake when I watch that show. Just magnesium and water pre-sleep. Oh, good. That's awesome. You're right on plan. So what to try these? Yes. Thanks, Allie. I'll have to bring you some. Let me know. We can coordinate that. I'll bring you one to try. They're going to be so good. So these are going to be chocolate dipped soon, and then they'll be extra. But we'll find a way to get you one maybe this week. Give me a shout if you're somewhere I can easily drop them off. I do 2 more and then dip it in chocolate. Yeah, when I watch British Bake Off, I always run to the kitchen and start making like weird experimental baking, usually with protein because I'm me. So we're gonna do 1 more of these and then we're gonna dip them in chocolate. Hey, Alyssa, would love that. Awesome. Yeah, let me know. I actually want to try and get these in like local coffee shops because, dude, I find it so hard to get actual things with protein when you're out. And a lot of those balls that they sell in coffee shops and stuff are so delicious, but they're very low in protein. These are like, especially with the peanut flour, I can calculate the macros. These look so yummy. Thanks, Alyssa. These are going to be dipped in chocolate soon too. They're going to be so good. But yeah, it's hard to find ones that are high in protein. And these are going to be, I could calculate it if I wanted to, but I'd say pretty darn high in protein. So I've done 5 of each. We're going to now dip them in chocolate. So I want to show you what that looks like. Let me get to my mise en place. Let me get the pan ready for after I dip them. I'm going to put that over here. Parchment paper on that for easy removal. Pro tip, just in general, always have parchment paper. It makes your cleanup so much easier. Anytime I roast vegetables, meat, anything, parchment paper or silpats, which are basically the same thing. So I'm gonna have that ready to go. I'll put that over here. And then we want to make our chocolate mixtures. So again, super simple. All we're gonna do for the chocolate, we're gonna first do the dark milk chocolate. So I'm going to use the same chocolate chips. I'm actually going to use a bigger one to melt, but I could use those if I wanted to. So I'm going to use these guys. I'm drinking just water as it's 11 p.m. Good. Awesome. Make those balls with peanut flour. Yeah, or almond flour. Any nut flour would work. Like I said, I think almond flour would actually be more delicious. That's what I do often with the cookie dough balls. But if you want super high protein, peanut flour, check on Amazon. All right, so for our chocolate coating, very simple. I used to always try and use a double boiler. I'm going to do this in the microwave. I'm going to do about 1/4 cup chocolate chips. We're going to do like a teaspoon of coconut oil. And then we're just going to melt that all together and put that in the microwave for 1 minute. Almond we have in every grocery store. Perfect. Use almond flour. Honestly, that's what I often do. It adds all those healthy fats and it gives a little bit of a doughier texture, which most people prefer. So I'm going to pop this in the microwave for 1 minute. And then we're going to roll them around, plop it on our baking sheet, and then pop it in the freezer, and then we're good. You show, so I don't have the brand, the bag. I have it in a Ziploc. Bought it so long ago, but it's, if you go on Amazon and look up protein plus peanut butter, protein plus peanut flour, protein plus peanut flour, and it comes in like a yellowish thing that's like vacuum sealed. You can usually get it in like a 2-pack. I haven't ordered it in a while, so hopefully it's still on there. It's not the PB2. That is little less high in protein and higher fat. So this one is like protein peanut flour. Wow, these are tongue twisters. But Amazon should have it. Oh, you're in Canada, Tiffany, Canada. Amazon's so much more limited in Canada, you guys, since coming to the States. I feel like I have access to so many more things. Go on and see if they have it. Let me know. Okay, so have our chocolate chips. And we're just gonna stir it up to melt it. That is a fork. So we're gonna stir it up. That was just a little bit of coconut oil and chocolate chips. Canada Amazon is the worst. It really is. I remember I used to watch all these like fitness YouTube videos and people would recommend all these products. And even so many products won't ship to Canada. I don't know what the laws or reasons are, but it's infuriating. And we don't have Trader Joe's in Canada, which is a life changer. I love Trader Joe's. At least we have Costco, right? That's one thing we have in Canada. They're really nice people. And healthcare. Okay, we have a lot of good things in Canada, but Amazon's lame. So step it up. So we got our beautiful melted chocolate here. Now, super simple. We're going to get our pan with parchment paper. At least, right? And we're just throwing in, so this is the dark chocolate ones. We're just going to throw this in. Make sure it's all fully covered in chocolate. And then I'm just plopping it right on here. I think you guys can kind of see that. Yes. So just throw them in. I like to just use the spoon, kind of spoon the chocolate around it, roll it around. Wow, this just makes it so much next level. And I feel like you're not putting a ton of chocolate either because you're just putting that fine outer layer. But like in terms of texture and satisfaction level, dude, it's another level. We like having these for desserts. Actually, when I was eating the white chocolate celebration balls the other day for breakfast, they remind me of Timbits. Canadians, you know, Tim Hortons. They remind me of like the little round donut balls. I don't know what you call them in America. Donut balls? Donut holes? Is it a donut hole if it's like the center bit? I don't know. Someone tell me. So we're just covering that in chocolate, dipping that in here. I'm just doing 5 of each to show you. So I have more. In total, I'm going to have a ton of balls when I'm done. I'll probably have about 25, I'd say. So again, like you're not using a ton of sugar in these when you think about how many you are making and also how satisfying they are. Here's the thing. I used to go for like super low sugar, everything, you know, always looking for low calorie. And what I have personally noticed is if you go for like the full fat, full sugar version, especially if you're getting that like protein and healthy fat in, you don't need as much. So you're actually in the end, probably going to eat the same, you know, calories, macros, whatever, because you're so much more satisfied. And wouldn't you rather be satisfied? Like I used to always try and get the lower, whatever, healthier version of something and then eat 5 times as much. How long are those eatable? That's a really good question. They last in our fridge not that long, but I would say about a week. There's nothing here that can really go bad fast, so probably longer, but because it's still fresh ingredients, I would say a week to be safe in the fridge because we don't want them to melt. So we have our dark chocolate balls. Can you guys see? Look how beautiful. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with the white chocolate. You store them in the freezer. That's a really good idea. Did they taste good frozen? My parents-in-law recently put Thin Mints in the freezer and they're so freaking good. I'm going to start doing that. All right, so we're going to do our white chocolate. Do you eat them frozen or do you wait for them to thaw? How do they taste? So we're going to do the same thing. Really tasty. Ooh, okay. I'm going to do that with these. I'm going to keep a couple in the freezer and then see what that's like. Again, I'm doing about a 1/4 cup white chocolate chips. And if you realize you need more, again, I'm only doing 5 balls of each right now. Just make another little batch. As you can see, it takes like 2 seconds. So we're going to just do a 1/4 cup chocolate chips and then our little bit of coconut oil, about a teaspoon. because of the fat content, they just need 5 minutes to defrost. That's so smart. Do you ever eat them just like right out though? And are they good kind of frozen? So we're gonna melt that 1 minute. I do like things really cold. I think that could be really delicious, but that's good to know. So yeah, if anybody wants to store these for longer, I mean, stuff in the freezer usually lasts forever. So we're just melting the white chocolate, and these are already starting to solidify a bit. But again, once they're all done, I'm just gonna pop them in the freezer and they'll solidify in no time. But yeah, we usually keep them in the fridge and then eat them within like a week or so. Same with the regular protein balls. That freezer would work too. And they're good to share. Like if you're meeting up with someone, put these in a cute little jar, a little Tupperware. People like to receive these. Like I said, I kind of want to get them in local coffee shops because they're a hit. How many grams protein each cup holds? Oh, like each cup. Sorry, I don't understand the question. 250 milliliters? Like how much a cup? I think a cup is 250 milliliters. Can someone else answer that? I believe so. I can't Google it because I have my thing on here. I think so, yeah. If you just Google how much is the cup in milliliters, it should show that too. If that's what you're asking me. Let me know. All right, so we're doing our white chocolate now. This is mostly melted. We're just gonna give it a little stir. Yes, 250. Thank you, Tiffany. Yeah, because in Europe, do they not use cups? Is it all milliliters? So in Canada, we use both, I believe, but we also use Celsius and kilometers like in Europe. So I've had to adapt in the States to miles, but I still don't know Fahrenheit. It's so embarrassing. People are like, oh my God, it's this Fahrenheit outside. And I'm like, oh, and I pretend I know, but I don't know if it's hot, if it's cold. I just play along because I feel like I should know by now, but I don't. So we're popping the ball in there. I feel like the white chocolate is going to be so good. Oh, you don't use cups. That's good to know. I forgot about that. Now that I think about it, I'm remembering like my French recipe books that they were in milliliters. No worries. I should have my recipes Euro friendly. That's really good to know. So, oh my God, look how good. Do you guys like white chocolate? I used to think white chocolate was kind of like tacky to admit that you liked, but I am shamelessly a lover of white chocolate. I just think it's so satisfying. And I've tried to make my own because I really wanted to make a dairy-free, lower sugar version. So I bought cocoa butter, like straight cocoa butter, and I added like a coconut milk powder. But it was like so I still got to work on that. I feel like I can figure something out. If I get like a higher fat coconut powder and maybe like coconut sugar or something, but these are just like regular white chocolate chips. Don't these look awesome? Anyway, when they solidify, I'm not going to do any sprinkles on these. I think just keep them classic, but they're going to be so good. My husband doesn't like sprinkles, so he'll be happy about this. I thought the sprinkles on the other ones were really fun. In the UK, they do use cups. Oh, interesting. God, we have everyone from all over. So we're almost done these. We have milk chocolate and white chocolate dipped balls using peanut flour, peanut butter, and pea protein. I'm curious the protein content. If I'm really feeling it, I'm going to calculate that later and I'll let you know. My guess is each ball have like 7 or 8 grams. I feel like when you counted macros, I counted macros for so many years of bodybuilding that I feel like I'm a pretty good guesstimator, but we'll see because they're not that big. All right, so final product before we chill them. I'll take a picture when they're chilled and put it in my story and show you what the final thing looks like. But here they are before going into the freezer. Bomb diggity. And I'm just gonna put those in the freezer. They don't need long. Again, the chocolate solidifies so fast. So probably in like 5 minutes, these will be ready and I will show you what they look like. If you guys have any questions, how many calories in one ball? I have no idea. I'm trying to think. When I used to track the macros on the cookie dough balls, they were maybe like 120 per ball if they're around that size. I'd say like 100 to 150 probably. So Tiffany was asking me the other day, she's like, how many do you like eat in a sitting? What's a proper portion? Again, like, depends how many you want, how hungry you are, all of that. But I usually have about like 3 max, because that's like the equivalent of like a perfect bar for a snack. But yeah, again, I can try and figure out the exact macros later for those of you who do track. But yeah, they're calorie dense because you saw like we put all the peanut butter in, you know, there's the maple syrup, but we have all that healthy fat, the proteins, they're really blood sugar balancing, and you're not going to find that you want a ton. Like 3 is very satisfying because of the protein and the fat. I'm going to put this in the freezer. Let me know if you guys have any more questions before I sign off. So we'll pop those in there for 5 minutes, and I'll show you guys in the story after how they look. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll hang out here for a second while I clean up. How's everybody doing? I was thinking that one would be enough. Yeah, you know, some people are sometimes like, if I just want one for dessert, I'll have one and I'm totally satisfied. So, or if you're like my husband, he'll sit and eat like 10, but he has a lot more muscle mass than I do. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Tiffany. I really enjoyed it too. And I love talking to you. It's always cool interacting with you guys. Yes, let me know if you have any questions. I will share the final product. And yeah, if you guys want the exact macros, tell me right now or send me a DM, because I will do it for you, even though I don't really want to. I made a calorie counting on mine. They were 15 grams per ball. Dang. And 56 calories. So yeah, and you did yours slightly different, and I used dates, and I think they were a little smaller. So it's going to depend on how many balls you have total. So yeah, yours are smaller. I think so too. Mine are about a golf ball size, like about that. And the ones I'm actually remembering, the cookie dough ball ones that I calculated before were bigger, the ones that were like almost 150. So maybe these are like 100 calories. But if yours were 15 grams of protein per ball, these are probably at least that. So let me guys know if you want the exact numbers, because you know, I don't like fully macro track anymore, but it is kind of cool to get an idea of how much protein you're getting in. Now that I'm trying to gain muscle again, I'm paying more attention to my protein and trying to get like 100 grams a day, just so I can be buff and cool like y'all. All right, guys, I'm going to tap out. Send me a DM if you have any remaining questions. Oh, they weighed 15 grams. Okay. So yeah, I'll figure out the protein content. I'm going to guess around like 7 grams. So we'll see. All right. Thank you guys for joining. That was awesome. DM me any more questions. I will share the full recipe later. I need to go too. See y'all later. Bye.